Ooh, yeah! What's up, everybody? It is I, your tribal god of extreme, Peter Joseph here, for a late Saturday night video. Right here on the main channel, Killer of Demons 669. And as always, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video, hit that subscribe button down there inside of my pants, otherwise known as the description box below, on this channel and my other channels as well. Show your love and support. Leave a comment on this video or any one of my videos on my respective channels, so the past, the present, and the future come in. So do it now, but don't leave stupid comments. You're going to get blocked and hidden and sent to the shadow realm where Satan will eat your soul. So please don't do that. If you want to do that, go on your dead channel and do that. Or go on somebody else's channel and see if you can do that, but probably not. And that's pretty much all I got to say about that. Share the video all over the internet. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to hit that bell, turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one, because you miss anything, you need to get slapped in the face. Because you, fat boy, are SOL. And you know what that means. And if you don't know what it means, look it up, asshole. That's why we have the internet. And that's all I got to say about that. So, once again, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment on the video, share the video all over the internet, follow me on social media, and don't forget to hit that bell for more. And that's that. And if you're brand new here for the very first time, well, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax, you grab yourself a cold one. I don't have one at the moment, but if I did, it would be in one of these glasses. But it is what it is. But in any case, if you're new here, welcome to the party. Enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax, you grab yourself a cold one, put your feet up, and enjoy the show. If you like it, great. You know, get out. Get out of here and kiss my rosy red ass, Mahoney. And that's pretty much it. And we move on. Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, we are just finished the weekend, the first unofficial weekend of April. It is now April the 5th, 2025, or if you're watching on the replay, for all my great people on the replay crew, it is now April the 6th, 2025, and it's Sunday, so Sunday, bloody Sunday! So, officially, as of this video, 2 weeks away from Easter. Next week will be the Trolls' favorite holiday, Palm Sunday. They never get any, so they have to use their palms. Rosy palms. And, that's, all I gotta say about that. So, next Sunday is Palm Sunday, and then the following Sunday is WrestleMania Night 2, and also, it'll be Easter Sunday, the beautiful Easter holiday, coming your way in a couple weeks, so be culling those eggs and eating some good food on Easter Sunday, and watching some baseball, or whatever we're gonna watch, and that's that. Alright, but we are starting the first official week of April on Monday, and we had a pretty decent collision tonight. I'll talk about that tomorrow morning, and in a few hours from now, because I do gotta do a couple of videos later in the day tomorrow. Not late in the day, but you know, I'm pre-recording this right now, and then by the time you see it, I'll probably be sleeping. But when I get up tomorrow, I gotta do my collision review. I gotta do my Dynasty predictions, and then me and the missus are going out for our special day, and because we've known each other for 17 goddamn years, so we're gonna celebrate tomorrow. So in every way possible, if you know what I mean. But yeah, we're going out to lunch. We're gonna have a nice little lunch, and then pretty much chill in the city tomorrow. That's what we're gonna do. Gonna go to a nice little restaurant in the city, and then we're gonna go walk around, and then we're gonna come home and watch Dynasty tomorrow, and then go to sleep with the good, if you know what I mean. We're gonna go 17 rounds. No, we can't go 17 rounds. I wish, but you know, can't even get past the 5th round. But it is what it is, and that's all I gotta say about that. But yeah, very special day for me and the missus tomorrow, and we're gonna celebrate tomorrow, and that's that. And if you don't like it, well, tough, because you'll never be with a woman like my girl for 17 years. So fuck you, man. That's all I gotta say about that. Let me move on. Alright, so hope everybody is having a great weekend. Have a great Sunday, everybody. I know it's gonna be still wet and rainy here in the Northeast. It's gonna be actually it is raining here. Raining, and some thunder boomers are coming through. You know, in the next couple of hours. So see what happens with that, and then it's gonna be a little bit on and off rain tomorrow, so I don't know if the Met game is going to be played tomorrow. They did play tonight, surprisingly, and they won in walk-off fashion. Jesse fucking Winker, the Wink Man, not one, but 2 triples, and the second one tied the game in the 8th inning at 2, and it got a little shaky in the 9th with Edwin Diaz, you know, Mr. Jekyll and Hyde, but thankfully he shut the door down when it was 2nd and 3rd with 2 out. Blue Jays knocking on the door, possibly win the game, but thankfully Diaz shut the door, and that was it. And then it was Siri gets on with a walk, and then goes to second on a wild pitch. And then Luis Torrens with a bloop single. And I think Siri misread it, because he could have scored and won the game. But it was 1st and 3rd with 1 out for my good buddy Frankie Lindor. First pitch, boom, sacrifice fly to win the game. Duh! Mets win. Mets win 3-2 to take the series from the Blue Jays. I know they got the game tomorrow, but we'll see if they can sweep the Blue Jays out of Citi Field, and Toronto will be a cleaner fucking city up there in that dump in Canada. We'll see what happens tomorrow, later tomorrow at 1:40 on Channel 11 here in the Northeast. That's Picks, where NXT is. So we got that, and yes, the Yankees won too. Fuck them. And Judgy Wudgy on the roid streak again, 6 home runs already. Gotta be the roids. It's gotta be the roids. There's no other way. He's not using a torpedo bat, per se, but... Yeah, but the Yankees are doing good. I believe that they won their 5th game. Yeah, because they swept the Brew Crew. They lost 2-3 to the Arizona Diamondbacks, I should say, and they won the first 2 games there. So 3, 4, no, there's 6. They have 6 wins. The Mets have 5. So it's all right. But it's all right. It's all right. Mets are 1 game back of the Phillies, who lost today. And JD's Braves, well, you finally got a win, but back to the losing streak you go. 1-8. Or 1-7, whatever it is. I think it's 1-7, 1-8. Terrible. Terrible. JD wants to kill himself. Do it. And, that's all I gotta say about that. All Braves fans should, want to jump off a bridge right now. Why not? Do it, Met fans wanted to do that last year, and I'm like, hey, settle down, it's only May. Next thing you know, 70 fucking wins from June 1st to October. It was great. So, I mean, hey, Braves fans, you never know, but you can pretty much go fuck yourselves. And that's all I gotta say about that. Alright, so we got baseball. Oh, the fucking Rangers! 7 games to go, and you lay an egg today against the Devils. 4-0 loss. So now you got 6 games to go. I don't even think the Rangers would get it even by luck. They have to have like 3-4 other teams to lose, and then they have to win all 6 games basically. 12 points at stake, and a couple of hard games coming up. But today was the one they had to win, and what did they do? Pisses me off. This team is garbage this season. Not like last year when they got to the conference finals and they screwed that up too against Florida. Oy oy oy. The eventual champs too. So, but this season, they got rid of a few players, and then there were teases they were going to be good. They got off to a nice little start, and then kind of went whoop, whoop, up, down, like we're dicking your mom's ass. And then just like, they're just not good. Shesty has been playing like shit. And we saw that kind of glimpses last year in the playoffs. Just, the offense is not good. The coach is not good. Peter Lafayette, bye-bye, so long, farewell to you. Chris Drury, go fuck yourself. You're out of here, too. I've been saying, bring in Mark Messier as the coach for years. They don't want to bring him in. So, get rid of Lafayette, get rid of Drury, bring somebody back. Hell, bring in the Weasel back. Bring in Mike Keenan. Why not? Team can't get any worse. But I don't think we'll be seeing any Rangers hockey in the playoffs in the next couple weeks. But you never know. But even if they did get in the playoffs, they're going to get destroyed by Washington, destroyed by Florida. How about Alex Ovechkin? We hate him here in New York, but he tied Wayne Gretzky's goals, tied Gretzky for the most goals ever. And, he's got a few games left to break it. I think he can break it tomorrow, whenever the next game for Washington is. I think Ovechkin's gonna break Gretzky's record. Gretzky's gotta be in attendance for that shit. And they're probably gonna, when he gets it, they're gonna stop the game for like an hour. And then, Ovechkin's gonna do like a victory lap. And then, they're gonna have Gretzky come out like, oh, okay, go great. Hug him. I'm like, come on, I wanna get the game over with, let's go. It's taking 6 hours. This ain't the playoffs. Triple overtime. I mean, you thought double overtime in the playoffs is bad? Woohoo! Try triple overtime or quadruple overtime, like 4 overtimes. Not that I've ever been to one with 3 overtimes. I've been to 2 overtimes. And that was in 94 with the Rangers and Devils. That game did not end till late. And I didn't get home till late. And the next day I had school. I said, fuck school. Rangers go to the Stanley Cup. Fuck school. Back in the day, that was high school. I was on my senior year. And the Rangers won the cup the night of my fucking senior prom. You think I was going to go to the senior prom? Fuck no! I went to Madison Square Garden to see the Rangers win the 94 Cup. And then, next day I had to freaking go to school because I had, finals and shit. And every period, we're going, let's go Rangers! Even in lunch, we're like going crazy. And then I took off the day of the parade, which I didn't thankfully had off. That was nuts, getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning just to go up to the city for the parade. Nuts. You know. And then I graduated in the theater at MSG where NXT was a couple weeks ago. Great place to be. Great place. Big, huge. And as we're getting our diplomas, some guy comes out. He starts taking off his gown. I was like, "What are you doing?" And he had a Ranger jersey on. And everybody in the building went, "Let's go Rangers!" The entire freaking end of the graduation ceremony, we're chanting, "Let's go Rangers!" Even after we, it was like, the guy, I think the principal of my high school goes, "You are now graduated! Yay!" And then we chant, "Let's go Rangers!" all the way out the door, all the way out the building. It was great time. Great time. I miss those days. Anyway. Alright, enough about that. But yeah, the Rangers probably will or will not make the playoffs. I don't know right now, but we'll see in the next 6 games if they do or not. And if they go anywhere, it'll probably be a one and done. But we'll see. Alright, enough about that. Alright, on this late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, right here on the Kill Demons channel, I am your tribal god, Peter Joseph. I am a content creator, talk about the wonderful world of sports, wrestling, and whatever else I fucking want to talk about. And if you like it, great. You don't, fuck off. And that's it. Alright. Really quickly, ladies and gentlemen, I'll talk about Collision and my Dynasty predictions tomorrow, and then, tomorrow. Probably about 11, 12 o'clock. Probably get that done, and then me and the missus are gonna have our anniversary lunch, and then we're done. That too. And then we'll get the business done, if you know what I mean. And that's that. But before we get to all that, it is time on your late Saturday night, April 5th, 2025, or if you're watching on the replay, April 6th, 2025. It is time for your late and out-of-date WWE Smackdown review for last night or Friday night, April the 4th, 2025, and we are emanating from Chicago, Illinois, at the Allstate Arena in Rosemont, Illinois. Not really the Rosemont Horizon. Remember that place way back in the day? But we're in CM Punk's hometown. We're gonna hear from him a lot. We're gonna find out what the favor was that he's asking the Wiseman, Mr. Paul Heyman. And, if you're Roman Reigns, our tribal chief, put up your ones, please, down in the description box for your tribal chief, and me too. Roman is not happy. Among other people that are not happy. Alright, so we had Joe Tessitore and bad news, Reed Bennett. No, I'm afraid, Joe, I got some bad news for you. Alright, we get that. Alright, we start off with a recap of last week's contract signing between Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns, which is going to be the main event of night 1. And Punk, kind of like, oh, I don't know. Do you need a highlighter, Punk? Page 4, clause 5. So he signs the contract, and then Paul's like, you're going to WrestleMania. You're going to main event WrestleMania. This is what you wanted. And then Punk's like, that's not the favor I wanted. I wanted it. And then Punk, Roman's like, Wiseman. And he's mad. Alright, so we get that. Alright, so who should start off the show but guess who? see him puke to a big, huge reaction, as you would expect in his hometown of Chicago. So he poses on the barricades for a little bit, and then he gets in the ring. He says, "As you know, this is a special night for me. I don't even know where to begin." Then he talks about the fans and the audience. He steals the cameraman's camera, and he's like, "Hey, look at you! You're on TV! Here's your 5 seconds of fame. You'll be on YouTube tomorrow. Nobody cares." So he gives the cameraman his camera back, where it should have been in the first place. So then Punky Brewster talks about how it is his goal to make new fans anywhere he goes. Like, you need more fans to suck your dick? I mean, come on now. But he says, "I want to thank you fans in my hometown of Chicago, because I always been told I was not supposed to be here, but now, I'm not sure if you heard it, but I'm in the main event of WrestleMania." Ooh. And then he's like, "I have taken all kinds of steps throughout my career, including being on John Cena's gangster car at WrestleMania 21 in this very building. But everyone said I wasn't supposed to be here, and now I'm in my hometown, and, you know, I got my beautiful wife, he's like, you know, I got you fans, but I want to thank my hot smoking wife, AJ Lee, first." So we get a AJ Lee chant. You know why? Because she's got that ass. For a woman that's 40-something, like 30, 40 years old, I still fuck that ass. Fuck you, punk. She's my chick now. She's always been my chick. That was my first original wife, by the way. But now I have 3 wives. Io, Asuka, and Kairi. And with Mina as my 4th wife. But, because, you know, I gotta go with my Asian persuasion first of all, you know, it's pretty much a rule. It's in my contract. Pretty much. It is in my contract. Must have hot Asian women as my wives to do my bidding. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, move on. Alright, so we get an AJ Lee chant. They talk about Larry, his dog Larry. Who cares about the dog? But now Punk's like, "The hard work begins. I'm getting ready for WrestleMania." And then we hear, "Ladies and gentlemen," and the Wiseman comes out, and he's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman." So he apologizes for being late, says it was no disrespect to the city or his best friend, the best in the world, CM Punk. So, you know, Heyman's like, you know, ball licking. That's what he does. That's, you know, what Heyman does best sometimes, but it is what it is. So he's kissing up to Punk, and he says the fans and Punk start chanting, "EC Dub! EC Dub! EC Dub!" Alright, EC Dub chant, why not? So then Heyman can't help but smile. He's like, "Oh, ECW, way back in the day, yay, gotta love it, yay!" So Heyman says that Punk belongs here, and he belongs in the main event of Mania, and the last time they were in the ring together, Paul asked Punk to take him, you know, "Please take me with you," after he was basically getting tortured by Solo Ibushi and his bloodline, which is pretty much extinct now. Then they attacked Heyman, put him out in Madison Square Garden. He was out longer than any time when he wasn't fired. And he mentions that Punk was considering leaving after Hell in a Cell, and it's true, but Heyman begged him to come back at War Games to help Roman which he didn't, even though Roman never needed any help. So we got that, and he's like, for now, I have one favor to ask of you there, Punky Brewster. Let me know what your favor is going to be. So Punky Brewster says, well, it's going to involve Roman Reigns, and I'll tell it to him and his face and your face later. So Paul opens his big mouth and says, well, Roman's not here yet. So Punk's like, well, when the big chief comes in, I'll tell him in this very ring. I'm like, oh no. Paul, why did you open your mouth? Very suspicious Wiseman. I've said it since pretty much since Punk came back. Very suspicious that Wiseman is. And even since Survivor Series last year, I told you guys, look out for the Wiseman. And what did you do? You never listened to me. Well, we don't listen to you anyway, Joseph. You should listen to me once in a while, because most of the time I'm right. So we get that. Alright, so opening sequence, I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. And we're off and running on Smackdown. Alright, then we go to our first official match. We got the WWE Smackdown debut of Rey Fenix and Emo! And came out, great theme, great, for you people that have, are epileptic, might have had a seizure last night because of his entrance with the lasers and all that shit. But great entrance, great look for Rey Fenix as he takes on, I'm surprised he took this guy on, Ben Frazier, one half of Fraxium, one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions. And they went at it for a little over 8 minutes. And very good match. Very good match between these guys. Phoenix does all his flippy dippity doos on the ropes and stuff. Big middle rope flippy dippity doo to the outside. If we go to break, come right back. As always, the heels come back. Ben Frazier runs the corner for a superplex into a suplex neck breaker. Yikes! For a near fall. Goes up top for the Phoenix splash and missed. Phoenix then runs the ropes for a kick to face. Sets up an over-the-shoulder tombstone, the fire driver, or the Phoenix driver, whatever you want to call it. I don't know how Ben Frazier kicked out of that. Then we get a kick to the head, sets up the spinning muscle buster, or as we call it, the Mexican muscle buster. Not made famous by Samoa Joe, that's a different version, but... Anyway, Rey Fenix gets the win. 1, 2, 3. Bing, bang, boom. Rey Fenix is undefeated in his debut. Very good match. The crowd loved it. I loved it. You loved it at home. And I gave it 3.25 out of 5 stars. That's that. Alright, then Byron Saxton comes in the ring for a little after-match promo with Rey Fenix. Basically gives Rey Fenix the mic. And he says, I have a history here in Chicago. Oh, you do, with all in and all out. He said, this is a big step for me. I did it with passion, and I did it with rage. Now I'm off TK Island, and I'm happy to say that I am WWE. I love WWE. Alright, so let's see what Rey Fenix has up in store for him, and there is a possibility we could see Rey Fenix and Andrade at Mania. Well, I don't know how you're gonna do with like a week and a half build. I'll just save that for like after Mania, because Pentagon will be at Mania to go after the Intercontinental title with Budon, Breaker, Finn Balor, Dom Dom, whose birthday was, I think it was yesterday. So, Dominic Guerrero, they say happy birthday to Eddie. Eddie, your son. Happy birthday to your son, Eddie. Oh, thank you. We had a ball. You missed the party yesterday. I know. I'm sorry. I had all the plans. The fuck were you doing yesterday? We had sangria. We had the mamacitas. Dominic was getting lap dances by Liv Morgan. It was great. You missed it. How you missed it, essay pedal? Eddie, I'm sorry. I had plans. You out with the mamacita? See? Oh, it's okay. I saved you a piece of cake, though. What kind of cake? Don't answer that. Oh, I saved you good cake, too. Hey, wait a minute. You saved me some sangria, though? Oh, I got a bottle in my office. I'll get it for you later. No, I gotta go to bed. Save it for me for tomorrow. Because me and the missus have our, special day tomorrow. Save it for me. Oh, okay. I'll put it in the freezer for you. No, not the freezer. No, it's gonna be all ice cold by then. Put it in the fridge. Oh, okay, that's what I meant. But yeah, Dom, happy birthday. I believe he's 28 years old. Probably got some good, birthday sex. Probably from Liv Morgan and his actual wife. Look at you, Dom. Gotta love that Dominic Guerrero. Oh, by the way, happy birthday to my good buddy, the so-called master of the diamond cutter, Diamond Dallas Page's birthday. I believe it's today. Or was yesterday, today. Whatever. Happy birthday to you, DDP. Bang! Let me get that. Everybody else has a birthday this weekend. Well, happy birthday to you. Anyway. Mr. Joseph. Yes, Eddie, what? I had to tell you that Mike Awesome came into my party and, What happened now? I don't know. He's on the floor. Oh, no. Mike! Can you wake him up, Eddie? Hey! Awesome one! Get up, S.A. Beto! Get up on my floor! Smack. What? Leave me alone! What? Oh. Mike, are you okay? What time is it? Late. Oh, crap. I missed my bus. Wait, there's no buses in heaven, Mike. What are you nuts? How many bottles of sangria did he have? He had something else? Yeah, ese Pedro, he bought a box of tequila. Oy. Ese Pedro. Santo Chelos, Mike, I told you, when you go to a party, you don't have to always bring, the good stuff. What do you mean? Jerome told me, when Jerome's party, he told me to bring the good stuff. So I brought him a bunch of cocaine. You didn't snort it, did you? No! Well, good. That's what you're supposed to do. Don't do anything stupid like that. Yeah, but I was thirsty. We could have had a V8. I don't like V8. It tastes like shit. No, that's coffee. Anyway, but Mike, here, hold on. Mike, here. Here, take this and call me in the morning, okay? What is it? You know what it is. It's a hangover pill. I'm not drunk. Right. Just take it and go lay down, okay? Just don't get up and go hang out with Mae Young and Fabulous Moolah again, okay? Because What do you mean? I'm drunk. If I have drunk sex, it's the best sex in the world. I'm gonna have fun anyway, Gilmore. All right, Mike. You know what? Go find Mae Young. Go wake up Fabulous Moolah or Matilda the Hun and go have some great drunk sex. All right, get out of here. All right, get out of here, Mike. I can't right now. I'm sorry. I'll leave you some for later. I don't care. S.A. Mr. Joseph S.A. Pero, that Mike Awesome, he's a crazy guy. He's not as awesome as me, but, I mean, he is awesome. He's more awesome than you, because he's awesome. So when he says I'm awesome, you gotta deal with it, Eddie. I'm sorry. Oh, it's okay. I'll just next time he comes over to my house, I gotta hide the sangria next time. Yeah, that's a good idea. Good idea. I'll hide Jerome later too. He wasn't invited anyway. I locked the door. Yeah, but he's got that sight, He could have just sliced the fucking door and killed you. Well, not kill you. You're already dead. Yeah, I got this halo on my head. I can't get rid of it. Well, I don't have any Dragon Balls. You need to find them. I need to come back. Oh, I can't do that. Sorry. Anyway, Eddie, good night. Okay? Adios, muchacho. Oh, adios, everybody, adios. Okay, get out. Thank you. Satire. You gotta love it. Anyway. Alright, so we got that. Excuse me. Alright, let's get back to Smackdown. I have lost my mind. Yes, that's the first time. Anyway, alright, so Rey Fenix, possible showdown with Andrade, maybe at Mania. They announce it, and we'll see what happens with that when we get there. And that's that. Alright, from there, we go to Legado. We go to Santos Escobar. He's there with Los Lobos. The Mexican Wolves. Los Lobos kick your teeth. Los Lobos kick your face. Los Lobos kick your ass into outer space. Alright, Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza are there. And, Santos Escobar thinks that Rey Fenix will fit in well with the group. And, Angel Garza's like, I don't think so, S.A. Pero. And then Humberto Carrillo stands up for his brother, gets in Santos Escobar's face, and says, I'm better than Rey Fenix there, S.A. So Santos Escobar's like, well, you go out and prove that. So it'll probably be next week's match. It is what it is. Alright, so I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we get One-Eyed Willie, otherwise known as Drew McIntyre. He's now got an eye patch because he got glass in his eye. Not a glass eye, but glass in his eye. He's like, nobody cares about Poppy Priest unless he's feasting off of McIntyre's scraps. And that's kind of what he did last year at Mania and at the Elimination Chamber this year. Then last week, Poppy put Drew through a car windshield, resulting in his eye injury. So Drew swears vengeance on Poppy Priest. But we're going to hear from Poppy a little bit later in the show. That's pretty much it. 2.5 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, then we're going to look back at Jacob Fatu attacking E.Y. Drake and Braun Strowman last week. Now we got Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu. Last man standing match. The winner faces Eli Drake at Mania for the U.S. title. And we'll see what happens with that. Speaking of Braun Strowman, we see him ready to crush Jacob in a last man standing match. Then we go to Solo Mibuki and the resident Gremlin. Yeah! Tama Tonga comes in, starts laughing at the concept of the last man standing match, I guess. But Eli Drake comes in, starts making fun of Tama Tonga, his little yeah. So we get that. Alright. So that leads us, I give that segment 2.5 out of 5 stars. That leads us to a non-title match. Solo Sikoa at ringside. Eli Drake versus Tama Tonga. It's also with Eli slugging away. Drops Tama with an elbow. Gets hit into the corner. Go to back suplex. Drops Eli Drake, who comes right back with some shoulder blocks into the turnbuckle. And then he hits his own running Umaga attack. Interesting. Before taking Tama Tonga outside and then ran him into the announcer's table a few times. Watch out, Joe Tessitore. I digress. And then Solo offers a distraction, and Eli gets knocked off the apron. Ow. As we go to break, come back. Tama Tonga hits one hell of a clothesline for a near fall. Goes for a middle rope elbow and missed. Maybe he should have went higher. You should have went higher and dropped the elbow like me, Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh yeah! Dig it! Thanks, Randy. Thank you. By the way, Randy, I was watching SummerSlam 88. You know, the Mega Powers versus the Mega Bucks ran the lovely, her. Miss Elizabeth took off her dress and showed us, well, more than we bargained for? You remember that, Liz, right? Yes, I do, Mr. Joseph. Yeah, you were looking great. Oh, well, thank you. Shut up! Hey, Randy, I'm giving Liz a compliment. You shut up! You always treated her like crap. Even on Tuesday Night Titans. When some guy gave, Liz some flowers. It wasn't me because I was too young for that shit. I still was looking good back then. You still look good now, Mr. Joseph. Oh, thank you, Liz. Thank you very much. Elizabeth! Stop it! Hey, Randy? Let me give you a Gilmore cutter. Anyway. But he missed the middle rope elbow. Eli grabs a neck breaker out of the corner, hits a power slam, and sets up the jumping elbow. That, Eli Drake, yeah! Elbow. Goes to the BFT and gets broken up. And then Eli has to deal with Soto Mibuki. Gets rid of him. Hits the BFT on Tama Tonga. Finishes him off in 9 minutes. A little over 9 minutes, I should say. 1, 2, 3. He gets the win. And now he will see who he faces at Mania. Either Keiko Fatu or Buddha Strowman. And we get that. Moving on. Alright, go to the parking lot. The ever so popular parking lot. We have the Wiseman, Paul Heyman. He's waiting for our tribal chief, Roman Reigns. And says, no matter what Punky Brewster wants, the answer is yes. Ready? When somebody asks you if you're a god, you say yes. So then a car arrives, and the wise man's like, my tribal chief has arrived. My tribal chief, oh my tribal chief. But who should come out of the car? It's not Roman, it's Seth freaking Rollins. He's like, oh, Paul, did I disappoint you? And he's wearing some ugly-looking JCPenney suit. Ugh. Should have went to the Men's Warehouse. Because when you go to the Men's Warehouse, even you fat fucks out there, you might like the way you look. I don't know if they can guarantee it, but when I go, I get a discount, so I know I'll love it. And they guarantee I look good. But you? Some of you fat people out there? I don't know. Some of you virgins out there. You need to go there. Shit. Alright. Anyway, so Seth Rollins wants to see Roman Reigns when he arrives, so everybody wants to see Roman. Who doesn't? Alright, so we get that. Alright, then we get the Aleister Black vignette once again. And this time it looks like someone with coins over their eyes. Well, obviously it's Malachi Black. or Aleister Black. And we did see some of the chords in that hit song by Code Orange. That's his theme song. So it's only a matter of time before Mr. Aleister Black re-debuts back in WWE. And the question is, will Zelina Vega be with him? I mean, she's got new merchandise. Finally. She's got to change that theme song. And you got to get her some wins and a title for once. Jeez. Alright, move on. Alright, then we go to segment, the segment of the, one of the segments of the night. We have Horseface Charlotte Flair come out for the kitty chat. But before she can speak, it's Tiffy time! Daddy! Daddy! What? I'm on TV! That was last night! Okay, Daddy, go to sleep! Bye! Alright. So, Tiffany Stratton, the Smackdown Women's Champion, comes out. Both women, woo, they look like they were matching, they had matching lingerie. Holy crap. Wade Barrett serving as the moderator. Lucky you. So Charlotte gets a mixed reaction. It's like, you hear that? That's power. Titan. So Charlotte asks why she chose Tiffy Tiff and if she still thinks it's the right idea. So Charlotte talks about how she wanted to prove the smartest fans wrong, including those here in Chicago. And then Tiffy's like, hey, did you get your woo in? And then Tiffy talks about how Charlotte's real competition is in the crowd. And the saddest thing is that if Charlotte breaks all of the records, she'll always be second to her dad, Ric Flair. So then Charlotte says, Tiffy, you're saying the same thing that all my opponents have said for years, for the last 10 years. And then the fans start booing her out the building, because they really love Tiffy Tiff in Chicago. So then Tiffy Tiff says, Charlotte, at 25, you were in your dad's basement drinking. Well, he says, you know what I'm doing I'm 25? I'm 25 now, and I'm the women's champion going to WrestleMania, bitch. And then she calls Charlotte a Nepo baby. Nepo baby! But Charlotte says, Nepo queen. Okay. And then Tiffy goes off, both went off script, so it felt a shoot. So Tiffy Tiff says, you know what, after all is said and done, and I beat you at WrestleMania, they're not going to talk about, what you do in the ring, she brings up she's like, oh, you had to go on a talk show, to talk about, your divorces. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And she's like, after Mania, you're gonna be alone. And what's that record you have? What's that record? What is it? 0-3? Woo! And then you see Tiffany, she said it and she starts backing away because she knew Charlotte was gonna fuck her up. So she's like, woo! Throws out the mic, gets out of the ring really quickly, and then Charlotte tries to go after her and says, oh, is that why Ludwig Marcel Barthel was in my DMs? Shit. And Tiffy didn't even look like she didn't even hear that. She's like, fuck that. That was it. The crowd was going nuts for Tiffy Tiff. And it seemed like Charlotte was flustered after what she did to Tiffy Tiff about a week ago when she went off on Tiffy and, kind of a little bit off script. So this feud is starting to get personal, y'all. And then WWE, being the stupid dicks that they are, cut most of the fucking, promo. Because it was so off script and we're like, well, are we watching Jerry Springer here? Jerry. Alright, so we got that. So I gave that 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was just great. Tiffy Tiff's best promo so far in this feud. But everybody's like, oh, this feud is garbage. The hype is bad. They've been saying the same thing for Walter and Jey Uso has been bad. Yeah, kind of been bad. Even with Jimmy slapping the fuck out of Walter about a week or so ago, and then Walter basically almost murdered Jimmy, blooding him up right in front of Jay. Jay's probably gonna get revenge on Monday. I mean, we'll see. And then that's that. But damn, this segment was great. I thought it was great. A lot of people saying it was awkward. Yeah, it kind of was with the personal stuff. But I felt it was pretty damn good. So we'll see what happens next week on the program with Tiffy Tiff and Horseface Charlotte Flair. And that's that. Alright, then we hear from Nicholas Aldis, who announces a women's tag team gauntlet match next week, where Raw and Smackdown tag teams will face off, and the winners will get a title shot at Mania to face off against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Oh yeah, so we have Maxine Dupree and Natalia, I believe. We have Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter. We got Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. Who else we got? I think what. There's not that many tag teams. There was like 6 tag teams going after one belt. I was thinking, somebody was saying, it's like, oh, let's put Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross together, their former women's tag team champions. Well, they weren't announced, and who knows if they're gonna be like a wild card or something like that. I mean, we'll have to see what happens next week. I really don't care who wins, because they're probably gonna lose at Mania. And that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. Alright, so I get that segment 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, back to wrestling action we go. We have a tag team match. Speaking of tag teams, we go to the men's side. We have a number 1 contenders match for the tag team belts for the Street Profits belts, or the Dark Profits. And we see them in the crowd. And then the guy next to him is like this. And the crowd was like doing their little, posing and shit. And the freaking guy's like looking him up and down. I'm like, oh, dude, you're about to get your butt handed to you. I mean, what was with the fans last night? When I talked about, we know about that Kevin Owens segment where, he unfortunately had to tell us he's going to get neck surgery, and his WrestleMania match with, Randy Orton is now off. And then he's going up the ramp, and the fan says, you still ain't shit. So Kevin hears this, like, who said that? And then we see this bald-headed guy, and then Kevin basically buried him. He said, like, say to my face or some shit, and he tells him to fuck off. But the camera's cut back to Randy, who was, like, looking on. And then the same fan said the same shit after the Braun Strowman Jacob Fatu match. I think the fan called Braun Strowman the Big Show, and then Braun Strowman was limping to the back, and then the fan shouted that shit at him. Braun Strowman kind of broke character, like ran right to him. He's like, fuck him! So I'm like, this fan should have been fucking thrown out, banned from the building. Fuck him. I mean, these fans are so fucking stupid. Did he have a couple of brewskis? If not, probably got a couple of screws loose in his head. I mean, these fans are such marks. Some guy is limping to the back. They're like, oh, you're not limping, it's fake. Oh, you said the F word. And then the guy, next thing you know, Braun Strowman's in your face like, oh yeah, it's fake? You try this! Then to make him look stupid. I hate these people, I hate these fake as fuck wrestling fans. You want to talk about fake? half you people on YouTube are fake as fuck wrestling fans. You don't know shit all about wrestling. And then you want to debate people like me and Joe Cronin and, I hate to say it, but JD and the other guy, Sean View Entertainment. You want to debate all the guys that know more wrestling than you. Well, why would we want to go into a debate with a bunch of nobodies that don't know a wrist lock from a wrist watch? I mean, like, seriously. It's like a music debate with me. I've been a college DJ. I know the ins and outs of the music business. I've been around for a long time. I know a lot of music from the 80s on. Rock and metal, I know like the back of my hand. And some 80s stuff here and there. But, don't even talk to me about, debate me with mumble rap, because I don't even want to talk about it. It's just garbage. I mean, talk to me about Metallica, Ozzy, In This Moment, Pink Floyd, shit like that. But don't come to me like, oh, Kendrick Lamar's better than Biggie and Tupac. I'm like, shut up. Who laid the groundwork for Kendrick? Oh, that's right, Biggie and Tupac. And guys that came before him, like Eminem and Dr. Drizzy and Snoop Dogg. That's real rap. Not this mumble rap you can barely even understand. Well, nobody understands screamo metal. Oh, yeah, we do know what I mean. Know the lyrics. Follow along, maybe. Maybe next time you watch it on YouTube, use it with closed captioning if it's available. Or go online and find the liner notes. Not the liner notes, the lyrics. Stop being such a wimp. I hate the video is garbage. They're screaming, I can't hear what she's saying. Don't have to listen. You don't want to listen to the lyrics? Then listen to the riff. The riff is better than the lyrics half the time. Shit. But don't come at me with your boring as fuck opinions about screaming, heavy metal and new metal and, bands like In This Moment and Slayer. Slayer! Can't get out of my mouth. That's what she said. Don't even come at me with like, I want to debate you about Slayer. I'm like, yeah. Right. Debate me about Slayer. Okay. Do you even know the pre-albums? Do you even know all the albums in the discography? So I know half you people will cheat. I don't know all of them, but I know the first couple of them. Seasons in the Abyss, anyone? Yeah. Good shit. Name the members of the original Slayer. Not Slayer after a certain drummer left. I bet you none of you dumb fucks would even know what Black Sabbath's former name was before it became Black Sabbath. I know it. You don't know it. You just have to. Oh, there it is. Because you don't know it. You think you know everything about metal, and you don't. Ozzy's real name. Lemmy's real name. Anything about Judas Priest, you don't even know. So, don't come at me with your bullshit. I don't want to hear it. You think you're better than me, you're not. You're just wannabes. Wannabes. If you can stalk my channel and stalk my life. If you think you're great, you're not. Blow me. That's all you're good for. Because you can't get any real pussy. It is what it is. I actually have a real life girlfriend, so. Anyway, moving on. Let's go on from there. Alright, so we got the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin taking on DIY, the Psycho Killer. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling. And the winner of the match faces the Profits for the SmackDown Tag Team belts. When? Don't know. Maybe a Mania. But either at WrestleMania or probably the SmackDown before Mania in Vegas in a week from this Friday at the T-Mobile Arena. Alright, so it's a pretty good match. Machine Guns go for Skull and Bones in the middle of the match, gets broken up. Then, I think DIY rips off the turnbuckle pad. And Ciampa knees Sabin for a near fall. Then we get a super kick, fairy tale ending combo against a near fall on Chris Sabin, as Alex Shelley had to make the save. But DIY looked to finish off the Guns with meat in the middle. It didn't work. And then we get the dream sequence, whatever that is, on Tommaso Ciampa. They go for Skull and Bones again. Once again, it gets cut off. Ciampa tries to roll up with feet on the ropes, but Charles Robinson, the referee, says, no, no, no! So instead, Sabin avoids a charge, sends Ciampa into the exposed turnbuckle. Ow! And then he rolls up Ciampa with a fruit roll-up in 9 minutes. 1, 2, 3 to get the win. So the Motor City Machine Guns will face the Dark Profits for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Either the SmackDown before Mania or at WrestleMania on either night 1 or 2. And we get that. So, good match, 3 out of 5 stars, and that's it. Speaking of night 1 and night 2, it has been rumored that at SummerSlam, we're going to get Roman Reigns taking on CM Punk one-on-one. That's the initial plans for SummerSlam. And also, it was reported today on various dirt sheets that after Mania, Roman is going to be taking some time off. People are like, for what? His vacation, maybe? He needs some vacation time. So Roman's going to leave us for, I say, a couple months. Probably be back, I say, in July. He'll probably be back in either late June or July. Probably maybe around the July 4th weekend. They're saying he's going to be at Evolution. For what? I mean, so if Evolution is not going to be an all-female pay-per-view, then why would you have Roman there? That makes no sense. I'd rather have him on the July 4th episode of Smackdown. So then you had the lead-in, you have him come back, and, Punk's going on, running amok and shit. Maybe he wins the belt from Cody, I don't know, or Cena. And then Roman comes back, wants to get revenge on whatever happens at Mania, wants to get revenge on Punk. And hopefully you won't get the Wiseman back, but we'll get to that in a minute. And, but that's the initial idea, initial plans for SummerSlam in MetLife Stadium in August for probably be night 1 or night 2 main event. Roman versus Punk, whether it be for a title or just straight up one-on-one. So like I said, Roman will leave us for a little bit and then come back to do the lead up to Punk versus Roman at SummerSlam. But then again, card subject to change, and storyline subject to change. I'm just throwing it out there and just telling you what I see on the copy. But on the dirt sheets and all that shit. So, will it happen? I mean, we'll see. It'll be a great matchup. One-on-one Roman versus Punk at SummerSlam. And we'll see what happens with all that. Alright, so Dark Profits versus the Machine Guns coming your way. We don't know when. Alright, after the match, we have a stare down with the number 1 contenders and the Profits, so we get that. Then we go to the back. We have the Yes Boys. Elton Strong, Elton Prince, and Kit Wilson. Great looking hair. Yeah, they probably have the best hair next to AJ. You know, AJ and Karrion Kross. Well, Killer Kross, because his contract's gonna be ending soon, so it won't be Killer Kross anymore. If WWE keeps him or not. So AJ and Killer Kross had the best hair in WWE. Next to the then you get the Yes Boys as well. So, but if Killer Kross leaves, then it's pretty much between the Yes Boys and AJ for best hair in the WWE, and that's that. Well, we see the Yes Boys in the back, and then we have The Miz and Carmelo Hayes, him or Mello Don't Miz, stupid tag team. They mocked the Yes Boys for losing in their hometown last week to the Profits. And, you know, pretty deadly. The Yes Boys don't think much of Miz. Start making fun of his acting records. Like, oh. It's like you had a really bad movie career too, huh? Marine 3, Marine 4, Marine 5. And then Miz like, oh, there's only been 6. Yeah, all went to DVD. So, Miz is not impressed and then shouts his catchphrase. As looks like we're going to match next week with the Yes Boys and Mello Don't Miz. And he's like, you know why me and Mello are great? Oh, after Mello was like caught like breaking character a little bit when the Yes Boys were making fun of the Marine 3, 4, and 5. You see Mello like. So that was funny. But in any case, Miz says, me and Mello are awesome. Awesome? Was that Boston? Was that Boston, generic Boston language? Boston, Awesome. That must be Australian for awesome, right? Did you say my name? No, Mike. I didn't say. Yeah, I did, kinda. Make up your mind. Anyway, yeah, Miz was saying that him and Carmelo Hayes, their tag team, they're awesome. What the fuck does that mean? I don't know, Mike. I don't know. I think like Miz is like part Australian because you know how. When you go to Australia, they have different languages. They say things weird. Like, dynasty is dynasty. Awesome is awesome. Ship on the baby. Kind of like that shit. Yeah, and those Australians are weird. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, Mike. Pretty much. Alright, go back to bed. Mike, bye! Okay. Thank you. Alright, so it looks like a match between the Yes Boys and Mello and Miz, and we'll see what happens with that. Alright, so I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, back to the arena we go with women's action. We got B-Fab with Mia Yim, who just came out and was like, yay, B-Fab! Go get her, girl! You can do it! Alright, she takes on Naomi, who we saw in not really a segment, we saw her in the back on her phone. She's still wearing that caution stuff. She's still kind of emulating the late, great Owen Hart. I am not a nugget! I'm a black heart! Damn it! I just want to let you guys know that my nose just got here 2 minutes ago! I can smell the coffee all the way from Brazil! Oh, good old Jason Sensation. You gotta love the guy. Moving on, but there's another guy. I know he's on Instagram. I think his name is Anthony. What's his name? Anthony Maremba, something like that. I think his name's Anthony Maremba, something with that Maremba. Look him up on Instagram. But you thought Jason Sensation does great impressions. This guy, Anthony, he does it very, very well. He does a great Kevin Owens, does a great Roman Reigns, Jim Ross, pretty much everybody, Stone Cold. What? You know. Doesn't really do Jacob. He just Jacob like this. Does a great Bray Wyatt. You are watching the Disney Channel. This is Randy Orton. You're watching the Disney Channel. And he has Wade Barrett. This is just amazing. It's amazing. Like JBL. The Wrestling Gob. Michael Cole, why are you watching the Disney Channel? Michael! You know? Michael Cole, I'm afraid I got some bad news. You're watching the Disney Channel. I don't know how that came out weird, but okay. Then we got that, you know, Kane. I burned my brother alive! It's amazing that all the freak, you know, it does a great Paul Heyman. It does a great Macho Man Randy Savage. It does you son of a gun. You know that he does that. He does Jim Ross. By God Almighty! You're watching the Disney Channel. By God Almighty, Tony Schiavone. I'm not like him, but I do a pretty good Jim Ross. Brother! You're watching the Disney Channel, brother! You know, Macho Man Randy Savage can do it, like, oh yeah, you're watching the Mickey Mouse Club! On the Disney Channel, oh yeah, slap into it! Good stuff, good stuff. Alright, so Naomi takes on B-Fab in our next matchup. 2-minute garbage fest. And Naomi hits a new finisher. She grabs B-Fab, grabs her arms, pulls her into a one-knee code breaker. That's devastating. You know what? I was impressed. Most impressive, Naomi-san. Most impressive. Impressive, Skywalker. Sorry, Palpatine, get out of here. No. Shut up. Anyway, moving on. Alright, so Naomi gets the win in 2 fucking minutes. Big fucking whoop, but I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. After the match, Naomi gets on the mic. Well, she got beat up by Jade Cargill before she even got to the ring. So Jade attacked her on site again. So she goes through the match, 2-minute suckfest. Gets the win. And then after the match, she gets on the mic and calls out Jade again, who runs out past security, hits a pump kick, so she knocks Naomi the fuck out. And then Nicholas Aldis comes out and says, "Alright, that's it. I'm done with this shit. You wanna fight her? Yeah. You wanna fight her? Yeah. Alright, you two are gonna fight at WrestleMania." And Jade's like, "Let's go!" So you know Jade is going to win at Mania. And actually they're making history. Jade and Naomi are making history because this is the first time that 2 black women are facing off and not for the title. Interesting. So, got some history going into Mania with these 2 ladies. You gotta love it. Roman's going for number 10 with his 10th main event match. See if it goes 10 for 10. I don't think he will. As long as he doesn't take the pin, I'm all for it. If I think what's going to happen is going to happen, Roman doesn't take the pin, but, you know, he doesn't lose, technically. I think either Punk wins and he pins Seth Rollins, or we get my idea, which I'll spoil. Seth Rollins gets help from the Wiseman, and the Wiseman turns on Punk again, and he joins up with Seth. Seth wins the match, and then I think on night 2, Seth helps a certain guy named Cena helps him win and beat Cody. So Cena will be the champ after Mania, after night 2, and Cena will be have a nice big faction with Cena, Cena, Rock, Seth Rollins, and pretty much what's the guy's name? The guy that beat up Cody. I forgot his name. Travis Scott. And then you have Heyman. That'd be a wicked faction. But then again, remember how, you know, Rock's like this and he went like this? He's gonna go like this. 1. So it'll be, I think Cena, Seth, and maybe Drew McIntyre in this big faction led by The Rock. Then again, who knows? I might be talking crazy. But that's how I think is what's going to happen. Seth Rollins is going to be win the match, and Paul Heyman is going to be his new mouthpiece, or he's going to side with Seth instead of siding with Punk. He'll walk out with Punk, which is, sorry, I'm going ahead, but it's the favor and everything. Blah, 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 blah. But in turn, I think, Roman's supposed to have, like, some type of change. People thinking, oh, he's not gonna be the tribal chief anymore. And then they're showing what he said at the Hall of Fame when he inducted the Wiseman. He says, me without my Wiseman, you won't. If you don't see me with the Wiseman, I'm no longer the tribal chief, or something like that. So we'll probably get a new look Roman. I doubt it at Mania, but I think coming out of Mania, when he comes back for SummerSlam, whether he gets I don't think he's gonna get a new theme, but I think he's gonna look totally different. Maybe he cuts his hair, maybe he cuts his beard, I don't know. Who knows? But when Roman does come back, we're gonna acknowledge him, as always, and all the ladies, and you know the one I'm talking about, all the ladies who are gonna have a flash flood warning in their apartment or house, or in the building. Might have to get a big old industrial strength mop for MetLife Stadium on night 1 and probably night 2. But I mean, we'll see what happens with that. But we'll move on. All right, so Jade versus Naomi is set for WrestleMania. It's going to be a pretty decent match. We get that. All right, then we get Poppy Priest calls out Drew McIntyre for being distracted time after time after time after time after time. And every time, you were distracted, I took advantage. Then Drew cost him his chance to go to WrestleMania. So he's like, next week, me and you face to face. Or I would say eye to eye, but, Drew's got one eye now. Can't say eye to eye first, technically, but that's that. Alright, so we got that. 2.5 out of 5 stars for that. Then we get a Triple H Hall of Fame video focusing on his time in Evolution. Evolution is a mystery. No one's in. What my face? Okay. Thank you, Lemmy. Evolution was probably one of the greatest factions in the Ruthless Aggression era. Triple H, Bautista, a young Randy Orton, when he became the was the Intercontinental Champion, then became the youngest WWE Champion of all time, breaking Brock Lesnar's streak on that one. So we get that. Alright, so we get that moment. Alright, then we go in the ring with Nick Aldis. He's kind of pissed off because he's had a really rough night with all the craziness that he has to deal with. But he gets a little bit serious, and he says, there's a reason we say don't try this at home. He brings out Kevin Owens, who comes out in his snazzy little Bret Hart jacket for a little chitty chat. So Kev talks about doing this for 25 years, but there's a price to pay for doing all the things, you know, that I've done to my body. Takes a toll on me. Now it seems like it's my turn. Everybody's like, you know, paying the price, you know, neck injuries and injuries galore. So he's like, now it's my turn, and after the last few months of basically putting my body on the line. Sadly, you know, I went to the doctor and I need to have neck surgery, which was leaked earlier in the day, which Kevin did not like. I don't blame him. And he's like, the timing of this, you know, right before Mania, facing Randy Orton, you know, couldn't come at a worse time. He's like, I don't know if and when I'll come back, but it's like he'll never take, you know, wrestling for granted ever again. So he's like, he thanks the fans, and then he's like, I'll see you when I get back, or I'll see you down the road, some shit like that. So he shakes Nick Aldis' hand, goes to leave, but then, Randy Orton doesn't want his voice and his quads. Your quads are thick, Randy. So he comes out to interrupt. Orton goes right to the ring. KO just like stares at him and leaves. And I think we heard Randy say, you know, go get fixed to KO. And then we see Kevin go to the back, and then he yells at that fan, like I mentioned before. Then they cut right back to Orton for like 5 minutes. So they're in the ring, and all's like, well, Randy, I guess you're not gonna have a WrestleMania match. You're not going to WrestleMania. So Orton's like, fuck. He's like almost hunched over. And then he hits an RKO on Nick Aldis. 2 years later. Remember he hit the first one on Aldis when Nick Aldis kind of arrived at WWE as a Smackdown GM. And then we remember when Orton paid the fine. So Nick Aldis goes like, wait a minute, this is a $100,000 fine. Why are you paying me? You know, it's $50,000. Why are you giving me a check for $100,000? And then Orton's like, oh, that's for next time. So, long-term booking on that one. Orton foresaw the future. So now he doesn't have to pay the fine. He's like, here, take the other $50,000 there, Nick. So, people are saying if this is a work. I don't know. I don't know if it's an actual work and, you know, Kevin Owens didn't want to fight at WrestleMania. I mean, it's not like Kevin did not fight at Mania or KO Mania. I think he legit has a neck injury or some type of neck issue that he's going to get it taken care of, and we probably won't see him for the foreseeable future. I don't know if it's going to be for the rest of the year, depending on the severity of the injury. But I was waiting for him to say, you know, for Randy to come out, which he did, and then I was like, waiting for Kevin to just say, ha ha, fooled you! And then lays out Randy again to continue the storyline. into Mania, but he didn't do it, and I think out of respect, Randy told Kevin, go get fixed. So that if Kevin does come back, they can, get back into Randy versus Kevin, just months or maybe a year later. Who knows? It depends on how much time KO is going to be out with his neck surgery. But, I can't really tell you guys if it's a work or it's legit. I think it's legit. I thought it was a work at first, but I think it might be actually legit. So if it is legit, to my boy Kevin Steen, Kevin Owens, I hope you get better, and come back when you're ready. We'll be waiting for you. Hopefully it's not a serious neck injury like all the other neck injuries we heard of. Kurt Angle, Edge, Bryan Danielson, Saraya, Paige. But they all came back from that. But who knows if, with Kevin, if he gets neck fusion surgery, that's going to take a year and a half, 2 years or more to come back. Big E has a broken neck. We haven't seen him in almost 2 years now. If he comes back at all, I don't know. He's kind of, doing the pre-shows and post-shows and everything. He looks great still, but, it's going to be a long time before we see Big E in the ring again. And who knows how long KO is going to be out in the ring. Maybe he'll get the surgery and then he'll come back and just, be on commentary or just, do whatever he's got to do. But, we'll see what happens with that. Alright, so I gave that segment 3.25 out of 5 stars. So, Kevin, get better. That's all I got to say about that. Alright, here we got a classic WrestleMania moment. And then that's the first one. WrestleMania 1. From the Garden. From 1985. And I was there. With my pop. I was at WrestleMania 10. Which was in 1995. Which I went to with a couple friends. And then I went to 20 by myself. I've only been to 3 WrestleManias in the Garden. That's 1, 10, and 20. And I went to WrestleMania 3, which was at NASA, when they had closed circuit TV. I went to the old Nassau Mausoleum with my dad and one of my school buddy, my old school buddies at the time. And we all went out to Nassau Mausoleum, sat right down on the floor, 3rd row, and watched probably one of the greatest WrestleManias in history, WrestleMania 3. But probably, I think, the greatest WrestleMania match in history, Macho Man Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat. I still think that's the best WrestleMania match of all time. There's been others, but I think that's got to be number 1. Number 2, I couldn't even tell you what number 2 would be. I'd probably put Hogan and Andre number 2, but we'll see. So, we get that. Alright, then we go to the last man standing match with Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman. 15-minute match. I believe this is their 4th match. And the winner gets a U.S. title shot against Eli Drake at Mania. They went berserk. They fought in the aisleway. They fought all over the ringside area. They break the barricade. Poor Asia Pereira. Asia Pereira, the referee. Or whatever her name, Daphne, or whatever her name is now. Poor, she was the referee for this match. Oh, poor. Can't believe she did that. Then they go into the crowd. Braun suplexes Jacob through a table. They get back inside. Table is set up in the corner. We see Braun Strowman has a cut on his arm, so we saw blood, motherfuckers. It was just chaos. Violence. He loved it. Braun takes too much time getting up. And he's running. Ooh! Maga attacked by Jacob. Sends both of them through the table. And then, the Asia Pereira, the referee, is administering the 10 count. And Jacob beats the count at 9, and Braun Strowman is down at 10. So Jacob Fatu, he gets the win, and he will face Eli Drake for the U.S. title at WrestleMania. I think he will beat Eli and win his second major title in WWE. Remember, he was kind of gifted the Smackdown Tag Team Champions when Tonga Lioa, Tama Tonga and Tonga Lioa, the Girls of Destiny. He got injured the first time and he couldn't compete. So Solo had to ask Nick Aldis to say, "Hey, can Jacob be the tag team champion? Why not? Sure." So technically, Jacob Fatu is a tag team champion, and now he's going to actually win his first singles title at Mania, and that's going to be the U.S. title. And I think he'll hold it for a pretty long time, but we'll see what happens with that. Alright, so that match with Jacob and Braun, I gave 3.25 out of 5 stars. Just a hellacious match. We get that. Alright, good. A recap of the John Cena Cody segment from Raw. Basically, Cody got cooked by Cena. Cody held his own. Then he lays out Cena with Crossroads. And that's the last time we're going to see Cena until Mania. So we'll see what happens on Monday Night Raw this Monday from some shithole in America. Alright, then we're going to run down of next week's card, which should be interesting with the women's gauntlet match, and whatever else is going to be on SmackDown. But we'll get that. Alright, then we go to the parking lot. Paul Heyman still waiting for Roman Reigns. And then after the break, Roman arrives, and Paul's like, "My tribal chief!" So Roman gets out of the car. He's like, "Well, fuck you, Paul. I'm out." Because probably the quickest entrance in Roman Reigns history. He's like bolted to the ring, and he's just like waiting for Paul. Paul's like, because he's fat. He has to speed walk to the ring. So Roman says, "Give me the mic. Give me the fucking mic, Paul." So, he's like, "Chicago! Yay! Acknowledge me!" And Chicago's like, "Yeah! We love you, Roman." Was that, everywhere Roman goes, they love him. So he says his catchphrase, and then Roman's like, "Wiseman! Yes, my tribal chief. Is he here?" And Heyman's like, "Yes." He acknowledges that CM Punk is here. So Roman's like, "Wiseman, what's the favor?" But instead of Heyman telling Roman the favor, he wants to share a secret with Chicago, and that is the reality is that Punky Brewster would not be back here without him. Okay. So Roman mocks the idea that people cheer for Punk because they're both from Chicago. I didn't know. Roman's not from Chicago. Neither is the Wiseman. Okay. I didn't get that at first, but whatever. Moving on. And then he's asking for some chants of his own, so we get the OTC chants. So Roman demands Punk to come out right now and tell us about the favor, but instead of Punk, Seth freaking Rollins comes out. Oh, 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 oh. So Seth comes out in his JCPenney jacket. And he gets to the ring, does his catchphrase, "I am a revolutionary, I am a visionary, I am Seth freaking Rollins." Seth, if you don't want to be, you want to retire from wrestling, you can become a medium. You can become a psychic because you've been seeing the future as of late, huh? Kind of like Killer Cross in a way. Well, we get that. So Seth comes out, he's like, "Hey, I want to know what this favor is too. I wouldn't miss this for the world." So he starts ranting about Punky Brewster being the main event at WrestleMania, which he kind of blames on Roman for not stopping him when he had a chance. It's like, oh, you couldn't stop him at the Survivor Series and War Games. You couldn't stop him in the cage at MSG. This is all your fault. So Roman says, I made a promise to my Wiseman, and he kept his word. So he's like, I called Punky Brewster out here, but I got you, Seth Rollins. And then Rollins wants to know what the favor is as well. Finally, CM Puke comes out and says, this is about promises being made, promises kept. He brings up a story about a long time ago where he's like, Paul, do you remember 4400 Shepherdsville Road in Louisville, Kentucky? That's OVW territory back in the day. He says, when I first started there, you saw me and you knew that I would become a star, and everybody's like, he'll never make it, they're gonna fire me, and Punk's like, and then Heyman's like, no. And then he told he told Punk that you will main event WrestleMania, and basically forced WWE to deal with both of them at the time, when got to the roster and everything. And he's like, this is what I'm going to do to you now, Roman. And he's like, the favor is that I want my Wiseman in my corner at WrestleMania. So that's the favor. And I'm like, that's the favor? We waited we waited a few months, because this kind of started around the Survivor Series time. We waited 4 or 5 months for this fucking favor, and a favor is that Punk wanted Heyman to be his freaking cornerman? I kind of saw it coming, too. I knew it since pretty much when Heyman came out, when Roman came back, and then they're basically facing off against Jacob and everybody. They brought in Bronson Reed to be the fifth guy with Solo, the Girls of Destiny, Jacob. They can bring in Bronson Reed, and then Roman had himself, Sami Zayn, the Usos. I thought they were gonna bring in maybe Seth Rollins, but Sami didn't want him, so he's like, oh, I'm gonna call in a favor. So that favor became the Wiseman called in a favor to CM Punk. Punk comes back. He says, our team has 5, and then Punk comes back to do War Games, and then even before War Games, there was so much tension with Punk and Roman, and, they had that promo where Punk's like, remember, Roman, he was my Wiseman before he became your Wiseman. Technically, Brock Lesnar was the Wiseman before you and before Roman, so... Man, I would have loved for Brock Lesnar to just show up unexpectedly, and it would just come out and say, oh, you guys forgot who my Wiseman was he was the first Wiseman. He was my Wiseman first. Then he went to you. Then he went to you. Then he came back to me. Then he went to Roman. Then he went to you. And now he's going to go to Seth Rollins. There's no loyalty in that man. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. Alright, so that's the favor. And Roman's laughing up a storm. It's like, you're serious? This is the favor? And basically, he laughs at the idea, saying, Wiseman, I made you relevant before before you were going to get fired again or something like that. And he's like, even if I let you do it, I know you won't. And he's like, Wiseman, tell him no. And we see Heyman crying up a storm. No, nice acting there, Paul. And basically, Roman's like, "You gonna step up to me?" So Paul's like, "Say no, Paul! Say it!" And then Paul eventually says, "My tribal chief, I cannot say no. No, I won't, my tribal chief." So basically, Heyman turns on Roman and will in the corner of CM Punk and will lead him down the aisle at WrestleMania. So Heyman says no to Roman. Rollins is laughing up a storm. He's like, "Told you." So then Roman's backing Heyman in the corner, and then Punk goes after him, beats him down, picks him up, hits the GTS, bastard. Puts Roman to sleep, technically. And then Punky Brewster and Seth Rollins have an epic stare down to end the show. So that's it. So the whole basis for SmackDown was, what is the favor? We find out at the end of the show that the favor is that Paul Heyman has to, Paul Heyman is going to be in the corner of CM Punk. So Roman's going to come out by himself, and he's, whether he comes out as the tribal chief, or he comes out as the big dog, or whatever he comes out as, it's going to be a totally different and somber Roman Reigns, and he's going to be pissed off, too. And then you got Seth Rollins, who wants a piece of both guys. But now that Roman really never needed Paul. He never needed Paul 4 years ago. When Roman was, he came back as the big dog, or he was the big dog, then, he came out on live TV and said what he said about the diabetes, not the diabetes, sorry, leukemia. Everybody was sad. He went away for a while, then came back, that epic comeback he had, where I think he became Intercontinental Champion, and he was a big dog, and he's like, "I'm in remission, dog." And everybody started loving Roman, even myself, not because of Issa. I met Issa in 2022, early 21-22, so Roman's leukemia was in 2019, early 2020, when he left because of the whole pandemic. Then he came back and beat the living crap out of the late great Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman. Then he wins the title at Payback. Right after that, and then started his 3.5 year reign of terror. But Paul wasn't there at the time. He came a couple months after. He came right before Roman got put in that triple threat match. Remember, he had that thing he had to sign, and then you see weeks before that, Roman's in the back talking. I think it was to Adam Pearce. And then next thing you know, they pan over and you see Heyman. I'm like, wait a minute, where did Paul Heyman come in from this? We were all stunned when the Advocate at the time, before he became the Wiseman, was sitting next to Roman. He's like, "That's not a prediction, that's a spoiler." And then 3.5 years, Roman's had Paul by his side he had him by his side for a couple of years, and then that whole feud with Brock, when Brock came back, and then Roman beat Brock at, I think it was WrestleMania 37 or 38, I think it was 38, when, Heyman turned on Roman and sided with Brock, but then rejoined Roman at Mania. I think it was Mania or Crown Jewel, somewhere around that time. Then right after that, Paul's was with Roman after he beat Brock at Mania, and all the way until he lost the belt to Cody, and and then they had that whole big moment at WrestleMania 41 where they hug on the stage. Paul's crying, Roman goes away until SummerSlam of last year. And who's there with him? Paul Heyman. Well, we had to wait for Paul for a little bit. But Paul comes back after Roman comes back. After Paul got taken out by Solo and Company. Roman comes back, and then he's like, I need my Wiseman. Then the Wiseman comes back. Sets up SummerSlam. And then, he phones in, calls Phil. He's like, hey, Phil, we need help here. And Phil's like, okay, I'll do you a favor, but you got to do me a favor now. I think that was the logistics of that behind the scenes. So Phil Brooks comes back to help Paul with the Bloodline storyline for War Games. He helps Roman, even though Roman never needed Punk. Still never needed him. Never needed Cody either. And that's that. So this whole favor Paul Heyman was leading us on from November up until April the 5th. April the 4th, I should say. So you think about it. November, December, January, February, March. Technically, about 5.5, almost 6 months. What was the favor? We never knew. We were having theories. I had my own theory that the favor was that Punk wants Heyman to be his manager. So I was technically right. Well, at the beginning, I was technically right. But, going into Smackdown, hearing that, the basis of Smackdown was the favor, and I'm like, I knew it. I just knew it. The favor is going to be that Punk wants Heyman in his corner. So, I was right all along. 6 months of telling you that, and, you didn't want to believe me, but now you do. You should acknowledge me. Give me my flowers. I was right. So this whole triple threat match, this whole favor thing, now Heyman's gonna be in the corner of Punk. Roman's gonna be, I don't know what's gonna happen with Roman at this point. I don't even know if we're gonna see him next week. I think we will see him on the SmackDown before Mania. We have to. We're going to see Punk and Seth for the next 2 weeks. I don't know about Roman next week, like I said. I doubt he shows up on Raw, but I don't know about SmackDown next week. We'll have to see what happens, but as far as the match goes, it'll be a great match, but I think near the end, and, I think Punk will go for the GTS. And then, I think he'll hit the GTS on Seth, pin Seth, get the win, so he gets this WrestleMania moment, good for you. And then after the match, Roman's, on the ground, and, Heyman's either looking at him or he's in the ring with Punk, and then, Punk's celebrating, and then, what I think is Punk's gonna be celebrating, and then he kind of hugs Paul, and then maybe The Rock comes out or something like that. What's The Rock doing here? And then The Rock comes out, and Heyman's all shook for a second. And then maybe Rock just goes on the beginning of he stays on stage, and he goes like this. He does this, and then maybe Heyman turns back to heel, and he kicks Punk in the balls. Remember when he turned on Punk? When Punk was with Ryback? When Punk was going after Ryback, I was thinking he was feuding with Ryback. And Paul Heyman just beat the shit out of him with a kendo stick, even though it was really bad shots. I loved you! And technically, you know, he turned on Brock, he turned on the Big Show with Brock. And then Brock got turned, you know, he turned on Brock with, Roman. I think, no, wait. No, he turned on Brock with Big Show. And then I think he got fired after that. Then he came back with, he came back. And then, you know, he was with Punk. And then when Punk lost the belt to The Rock, he was with Punk for a little while longer. Then, Punk started a feud with Ryback. And next thing you know, Punk gets betrayed by Paul Heyman. Heyman joins up with Ryback, technically. And then that was that. And then Heyman goes away for a while, comes back with Roman. He turns on Roman the first time with Brock, and then Heyman turned on Brock to get back with Roman the second time, and now Heyman, this is the second time Heyman's turned on Roman, and he's back with Punk. And now I think Punk is going to get screwed a second time by the Wiseman. He's going to join up with Seth Rollins, and then I think eventually, you know, a few months to maybe a year down the line, Seth Rollins is going to get screwed by the Wiseman, and who knows where the Wiseman's going to go from there. Maybe he'll join up with The Rock, or join up with Cody, God forbid. Hopefully not. I'll probably just give Hunter and, you know, I probably gave Paul Levesque an idea. That's a good idea! Shut up, Paul Heyman. I mean, Paul Levesque. Ugh. You know. But I mean, we have to see what happens with that. But I think coming out of the ending of WrestleMania Night 1 is going to be Paul Heyman raising Seth Rollins' hand. Or they're going to, like, hug or some shit. And Roman is just going to, you know, he's going to be hurt. He's going to be, you know, broken. He's going to be taking some time off. I think the final thing we see of Roman is just him down, like, in a heap or some shit. And then we're like, hey, when's Roman coming back? When's Roman coming back? And I think he's going to come back sometime in July to set up the feud with Punk for if it's going to happen. He comes back in July to set up the match for either Night 1 or Night 2 of SummerSlam. And I think at SummerSlam we'll probably get like Cena versus... I think Cena will win the title and go all the way probably to SummerSlam and maybe give Cody a rematch at SummerSlam or maybe at Payback, maybe at Backlash. I don't know. I mean, just have to go with what we got so far, but we got our own theories, long-term booking. You know, I think Cena's final match at the Survivor Series, he's either going to be part. He probably will be part of War Games, so it'll probably be his final Survivor Series / War Games match. Then I think his final match in WWE is going to be on a Saturday's Main Event. That's going to be his final match. And against who? I say he finishes off his retirement tour against Punk. Or it could be against Randy. It's either Randy or Punk that finishes him off. And then next, WrestleMania 42, I would probably just have Cena be the headliner for the Hall of Fame. That's what I'm thinking they're going to be doing for WrestleMania 42 in Indianapolis. So, we'd have to see what happens with all that. But then again, you know, Cena could say, hey, you know, I'm not retiring. I'm going to be here for another year or so. I like it here. The food's great, you know. Yeah, that great catering food. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen between now and December 31st, 2025? When the clock strikes 12 midnight. Happy New Year to everybody for, you know, as we go into 2026. And then maybe I think the first Raw on Netflix in 2026, maybe we see the final appearance of John Cena, where he comes out Maybe he doesn't come out as a heel, just comes out as John Cena and says, "Oh, thank you, kids. Thank you, everybody. I was just playing a heel for you for about 7 months. I love you, children. I still love you." So he comes back, says his goodbyes on the first Raw of 2026, and then after the Royal Rumble, we find out that Cena's going to be the headliner for the Hall of Fame. And who inducts him? I would probably say Orton should induct him, because they came in together. Why not have the guy that you came in with induct you into the Hall of Fame? And I think the same thing with Orton. When Orton goes into the Hall of Fame, I think Cena should induct him. And then again, it could be Triple H. Or, well, it could be Triple H, could be Steph. Could be Bautista. Whenever Bautista goes in, I think it'll probably be Triple H to induct him. Who knows if Flair's going to be there when Randy goes in. Because, we're all in Evolution. Evolution, Evolution I don't think is in the Hall of Fame as a faction. But we know Hunter's going to be a two-time... He's going to be a two-time Hall of Famer, because he wasn't with DX. So if Hunter goes in with Evolution, he'll be a three-time... He'll be 3 times. Flair would be 3 times, because he's with the Horsemen, he's by himself, and he would be with Evolution. And then you have Randy going in for the first time. Then you have Bautista going in, possibly for the first and second time, because when he goes in by himself. And then Randy will go in by himself. And then, hey, Hunter could be a 4-time Hall of Famer because of the Authority. There was a rumor going around that him and Stephanie could go in with, I guess, Seth Rollins, and everybody was in the Authority. And Kane will be a 3-time Hall of Famer, because he was with the Brothers of Destruction. That's one. I think they're together. Well, him and Taker are definitely in by themselves. I don't know about the Brothers of Destruction as a tag team. If not, they should go in. So that'd be 2-time, and then 3-time will be with the Authority. And then Taker could be, Undertaker will be in 2 times, because if they put in the entire Ministry of Darkness faction. So yeah, even Naked Mideon will go in. That would be funny. And the late great Mabel, of course. And Paul Bearer. Oh yes! I'm a Hall of Famer! My Undertaker! Okay, calm down, Paul. Oh, yes! Okay, stop! Alright, so let's see what happens with that when we get there. I mean, we all have our list for the Hall of Famers who are not in, who should get in. Bam Bam Bigelow, Rick Martel, and I think Rick Martel should go in by himself. Then with Chico Santana in Strike Force as a tag team. I mean, I don't know why Strike Force is not in as a tag team. They have probably one of the best theme songs in the 80s. Next to Demolition, of course. And Pal Driver! I mean, Girls in Cars by Robbie Dupree. I mean, it's a timeless classic. Girls in Cars. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says. Pile Driver, the wrestling album 2, is the best wrestling album ever. Ever. Not WrestleMania the Music, Volume 3, or some shit like that. Or even the one that came out in the Ruthless Aggression era. Forcible Entry wasn't even that good either. Nothing can compare to Power Driver. There's so many good hits. And Demolition was on there too. Demolition's, Rick Derringer with Demolition. Jasso Brobe with the Reverend Slick, who should be in the Hall of Fame. That was on it. If You Only Knew What I'm Gonna Do to You was on it. You know that was a great song, but anyway. Rick Derringer's on it with Mean Gene with Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo. Miss Brooks! What is the meaning of this? Mr. Peabody! That video is hilarious. That's what Bro's video is hilarious too, and you know, Coco Beware, a Hall of Famer. Just for that, I don't understand. Coco Beware is in the Hall of Fame, but not for his wrestling ability, just for Power Driver. The Bird, Frankie the Bird's in the Pet Hall of Fame with I think Matilda. Yeah, I think Matilda and Damien. Mitch the Plank should go in just for shits and giggles. That's all I gotta say about that. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it is late. I am tired. I'm going to bed, and then I'm gonna get up in a few hours, and I'm gonna get dressed, and I'm gonna do I'm gonna do my collision review. Then I'm gonna do TSL 65, your Dynasty or Dynasty predictions, and then I'll be on my merry way to celebrate with the missus for our little anniversary, and then probably be back by the time by 8 o'clock when Dynasty goes on the air. So I'm not gonna do a review till probably Monday. Late afternoon maybe. Well, I mean, we'll have to see about that. But we got that. But I'll be around. I'll be here up until Easter. I'm gonna try to get in all my reviews from this coming week and next week, because I know the Easter week is gonna be really busy with Raw, NXT, Dynamite, Collision on Thursday, TNA Ring of Honor review. I gotta do Smackdown review. I gotta do predictions for Night 1 and Night 2 of Mania. I may be going away for Easter. I'm not sure yet. I won't know until probably this coming weekend, next weekend. We got that, but I will be here through Mania. I'll be here through Double or Nothing and NXT Battleground. I'll be here through all of June, and I'm hoping I am pretty confident, about 75% confident, that I will be here through all of July too. So we'll be here through we'll be in through Death Before Dishonor, and we'll be here through Money in the Bank and anything else in July. Maybe Queen of the King of the Ring. Evolution 2. So, we'll get that. And then, I don't know about SummerSlam. We don't know. I don't know what's going to happen between July and September right now. Because, like I said, I am going on vacation at the end of July, but I should be back by the beginning of August. So I'm going to take a little mini vacation, and then I'll be back in August. I will be taking a break. I'll be taking a break before Forbidden Door. I'll be back before Forbidden Door. And then Labor Day weekend, I'll be here as well. So, well, hopefully. Well, we'll see. But stay tuned to my community tab. I'll let you know what's going on. If you follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, you'll get that too. So, but for the next 3 months, we're on cruise control. Up until near the end of July, we're on cruise control right now. But anything happens, I'll let you guys know. If I take a break for Easter, if I do go away for Easter, I will be on and off YouTube. I probably won't be doing any reviews. I might just do the reviews on my community tab. Maybe I'll do a quick little mini video for Raw and Smackdown and stuff like that. I know Rebellion's coming up at the end of the month. I don't know if I'm going to be back for that, but depending if I go away or not. So if I do go away, I probably will not be doing Rebellion. I'll try to get the predictions up for Rebellion. As far as review, maybe not, but I should be, if I do go away, I'll probably be gone the week after Easter. So probably from that weekend of Mania, and then after Mania, I probably will be away I may be away. I have no idea yet. But I'll let you guys know, hopefully by next weekend. And that's that. Alright, guys, I gotta go because, I'm tired. I'm tired, and, I gotta take a mean old shit. So that's TMI. But anyway, I'm gonna go. I will be back in a few hours. I'm gonna take a quick nap, and then I'll be back after I have my breakfast. So probably around 12, 1 o'clock, I'll be back with Collision and TSL 65, your Dynasty predictions, and then me and the missus will be going into the city and then just having fun on our special day. And that's that. Alright, guys, we're out of here. Thanks for watching. Until next time, if you're not down with all that, well, too bad. Because I got 3 words for you. Fuck you, man! That's it. Have a great rest of your weekend, and until next time, peace.